Yeah, hi team. So we'll just wait for 2 more minutes and then we'll start the session. In time, others can also join. Yeah, hi team. So let me share my screen. We'll go and start the integration. So till now, right, what we have seen, right, we have seen that uh, assign activity. Yes, in the last session, we are seeing that assign activity. But till now, right, whatever the integrations we have created, right, all the integrations are of application type, right? So what we'll do right today we'll start the new type of integration, which is a schedule integration. So we'll see right what it is a schedule integration, right? So till now, right, we have seen that application in that one, right? We need to go and we need to start that integration, right? Now we'll see the second type of integration pattern, which is a schedule integration. So what will happen into the schedule integration, right? in the schedule integration, right, we will define the time, right? We'll define that, okay, this report, right, or this integration needs to be run at this particular point of time, right? So for example, right, like there's some logic, right, which you need to execute every day, right? So you can define that, okay, every day at 8 a.m. in the morning they should run. Then maybe like some process, right, or some logic you need to execute uh, every 2 hours, right? So you can define every 2 hours. Some logic you need to define maybe every week, right? Every Monday morning you need, right? So you can say Monday morning, like twice a day, like whatever logic it needs, once in a monthly, once in a 15 days, right? Whatever logic it can be, right? So you can go and define that one. So in that one, right, what will happen, right? We don't need any human intervention. What will happen, right? Once that time reach, right, it will automatically start, it will complete, and that's all, right? So that is what we have the schedule type of integration, right? So in this one, right, as we seen that collections, right? So when we are doing that collection connections, right? So that time we saw, right, we don't need the connection, right, to start this one. If you see for application, right, we need the trigger connection, right? But in the case of schedule, right, we don't need any connection. Why we don't need? Because the starting time, right, itself is a time for that one, right? So what we'll do, right, we'll go and create one integration. So if you see that this screen is kind of the same only. So we'll say B21 underscore OIC schedule integration 20, right? So this is a schedule integration which we are creating, right? We can come here, we can go and put this into our package. So B21 OIC, and we can go and click into create. So in this one, if you see, right, when we are creating, right, if you see one thing, right, what is happened, right? The schedule connection is already there, right? Trigger is already there, right? When we are creating that application one, right, what was happening? It was coming as a blank screen, right? But in this case, right, it is not coming as a blank screen. What it is coming, right? It is coming like this one, right? It means it is available here, right? Let me just stop the screen once. Yeah, right. So what is happening, right? We are already creating here schedule integration, right? So in this one, what is happening, right? The schedule is there, right? So we don't need to start the trigger part. We can go and change the layout. And if you see, right, there is nothing is which is going to be written from this one, right? It will start, it will go, right? Because this is what, right? In the application, right, what we are doing, we are defining, right, when we need to start, right? So we are waiting for that output also. But in this one, right, we know it can be start at any point of time, right? So there will be no one who will see the output, right, in the UI, right? So what will happen, right? This is we used to call as a asynchronous integration also, right? So if you say it, it will be a stop activity here. It is not a written activity, right? It means the trigger is there and the ending one, right? It is a end activity. And if you see, right, we cannot go and delete this one, right? We cannot go and make any changes. Now question will come that, okay, suppose in this case, right, we have to see some output and all, right, or send some output. How we can do that one, right? So for that one, right, two things will be there, right? So one is like we can send some notifications and all from this integration, right? So we can send some email and all from this one, right? So you will get that confirmation, right? So that is the one way we have, right? Otherwise, like suppose otherwise, like you can go and send some, like you can place that file and all, right? But output, if you wanted to see, right, you will not to see any output. Why? Because there is no output from here, right? So for example, right, I will just save this one, and one more thing, right? If you see, there is no error here, right? By default, there is no error will come, which is coming into this one, right? So if I will come here again, right? And for example, this one was our scheduled one, right? Application one. So in this one, if you see, right, the last point, right, which was a return here, right? So this was a return variable. And if you see this also, we cannot go and delete, right? So in the application, the endpoint, right, it is a return, but in the schedule, right, the endpoint, it is a stop, right? So we can come back here. So this is a stop. Now we know, right, what we need to do, right? You can go and write any logic here. So first we can go and define this error. So we got one error, right? Business identifier, right? So if you set in this one, right, in the schedule, right, automatically start time is there, right? So that we can go and use as a business identifier. We can go and save, right? So this is what our schedule integration is the one, right? Rest all logic, right? Whatever you will write in between these two things, right? It is going to be same. Whatever logic we have written into the application one, right? Same logic we can go and write into this also, right? So for example, right? What we will do, right? Here we will go and write the REST API. So we can go and get that single user one. So for example, right? We can go and invoke this one, right? This REST API we can go and invoke, right? Single user. So what we do, we can come here and we can go and write the logic here. So invoke connection we will have. So which is that connection? We can write B21 underscore REST rec request connection. So this is the connection we have defined, right? We get the get single user. Now what is the next one, right? What type of it is, right? We don't need this one. So this is a get request and we need to pass the URI parameter, right? So we can write slash API slash users user ID, right? So we are passing the user ID here. If you see slash API slash user, then it is a template parameter, right? So we need to pass the template parameter here, user ID, right? It is a get method and we need to have the response. So we can say continue. User ID is our parameter, template parameter. We can go and click into continue. We need to have the response. So what we do, right? So this is our response, right? So we can go and give the response here and continue, right? So this is what we have. Now what we do, right? Or maybe instead of this one, right? Yeah, first we will do this only. We can click into continue and finish. So we can go and click into save. So what is happened, right? We are able to send here, right? If you see get single user, we are able to do, right? Now what is the input, right? We know we need to send some parameter here, right? So how we can go and send the parameter, right? Because there is no parameter will come from here, right? So what we do as of now, right? We can go and hard code this one. So it is a template parameter. So we can go and hard code here, create target node, and we can write here 2, right? We can do the validate. So we can come here. We can do the save, right? So if you see, right, we have done the get single user. We have done this one. Now that output will come here, right? So where we can go and see that output, right? We cannot go and see that output anywhere, right? Because it's difficult to see that one, right? Because there will be no output from this one, right? So what we do, right? Let us go and run the first one, right? So what we do, right? We can come here and we can go and do the activate of this one. We can say debug and activate. Refresh. So if you see, right, as I told, right, we cannot go and start this one, right? This will go and start automatically, right? But for the testing purpose, if you wanted to start, right? So in the OIC, right, we have the both the things, right? We can go and run the ad hoc also, right? So if you come to the run, right? So we can come to the run, and if you see, right, we can go and run this as a ad hoc also, right? So what it means ad hoc, right? It means like independent, right? For the testing purpose or at some point of time, right? Because there is a possibility, right? That okay, we need that other than the schedule also, right? So we can go and run then that other than the schedule also, right? So ad hoc is also possible, right? So if you see, right, we came here and we are running the ad hoc request right here. So if I will click into run right here, but what will happen, right? There's no output which we will go and see here, right? And so it means there is no output which is going to become, right? So if you see, right, our whole flow is working, right? If you see, we have added here user ID, then we got here, and then if you see, right, we got that output from the single user also, right? So it means we got that output from the this also, right? So it means like whole flow is working, but we will not able to see the output here, right? Why? Because the end activity, right, it is a stop activity, right? So because of that one, right, we will not see that output, right? So what we can do, right, we can go and send that output over the email or something we can go and do, right? But the schedule integration, right? So this is what we have as a schedule integration, right? So now what we'll do, right? We'll go and add the notification into this activity, right? That okay, we can go and send that over email, right? So we can come here, deactivate. So we can come here. So if you see that what activity we have done, right? It will, we are starting, we are hard coding this one, and then right, what we are doing, right? We are getting here single user, right? So if you see that, if you go to come to the actions, right? So if you see it, one action is a notification also, right? So suppose if you wanted to send email, right? So we can go and use this notification thing, right? So what we do, right? We can come here and we can write the notification, right? So we can write notification here. So if you see it in the notification, right, what will come, right? So this is what we have, right? So we know, right? If we wanted to send email, right? What all things we need to pass, right? To whom we wanted to pass, right? Then if CC, BCC will be required, right? We can send the, then from, right? Subject, body, right? All those things we can go and pass, right? So I have my Outlook open, right? So we have this one. So I wanted to send that email to this account, right? Pass trainer 12 at the rate Cloudshine Pro, right? So we'll see. We can come here, right? In the two, we can write here pass dot trainer 12, right? So we have configured the two, right? To whom we wanted to send email. Then CC and BCC, right? It is optional, so no need to send. If you wanted to put, right, you can go and put. Then we can write here no reply at the rate, for example, Cloudshine Pro. Then subject we can pass. So we can write schedule email notification. And then in the body, right? In the body, we can go and send that information, right? So we can write hi team. This is the test email. Thanks OIC team, right? So for example, this is the message email, right? We wanted to send, right? Now we can go and click into save. So if you see, right, this is how we can go and configure the notification part, right? So if you see, right, we have configured here notification part. Now what we'll do, right? I will come again and activate this one, right? And we'll see that output this time, right? So we can come here again and run, and we can click into the run. So if you see right here, after this one, right, when we are getting that get single user, right? So if you see, we are able to invoke the REST APIs also, right? Now if you see, right, we are able to send that also, right? If you see subject from address and meme type and to address, and this is the body. If you see, we are able to do it. Now we can go and check over email, right, whether we have received that email or not, right? So we can come here. So if you see, right, this is a in A24, right? We got. Now if I will come here, right, if you see hi team, this is the test email, thanks OIC team. If you see, we got on 1st of April A24, right? So it means like from the OIC, right, we can go and send that notification also, right? We can send that email through OIC, right? So this is how we can go and do the notification part. Now if you see, right, this is a hard coded one, right? We wanted to send some user information here, right? So that whatever the users we are getting, right? So those informations we wanted to send in this one, right? If you see, this is a hard coded message, right? Because we are getting that output from here, right? So that message should go, right? Like the information of this one, right, should go here, right? So what we do, right, we can come here back. Because till now, right, what we have done, we have done the independent only. We can go and do the deactivate. Now we can come into this notification part again, and we wanted to send here the messages, right, the corresponding information, right? So we know, right, what all the informations we will get, right? So we can say below are the user details, right? And then we know, right, after this one, right, what we need to send right here. For example, right, we can come to this one, what all things we are getting, right? We are getting the employee ID. Okay, what is happened? I think yeah, right, get single user, right? So what all things we are getting? Employee ID, email, first name and last name, right? So these informations we are getting, right? So what we do, right, we can write here employee ID, then colon. Now we wanted to pass, right? If you see, right, directly we cannot go and put, right? So what we need to do, right, we need to create the parameters here. So with the help of parameter, right, we will go and do. So if I will remove this one, right, if you see, right, in case if you wanted to put the parameter, right, how we wanted to put the parameter, right, in the sample code, right, in the curly braces we need to put the temp parameter, right? So I will put back here, and what will happen, right? We need to put into the curly braces. So I will say emp underscore id, right? This is my first parameter. So I have to create the same parameter here. So name should be the same, right? So what I will do, right, I will create the first parameter here, and name, what name I will do, right? Whatever name I have given in the curly braces, right, same name I will do, right? What is the parameter value? So parameter value will come from this response, right, get single user. So we can come here and response wrapper from data, right, it will come. So this ID, right, so this ID it will come here, correct? Now what is the second one, right? We wanted to put employee ID we have given. Now we can say employee name, we can write emp name. So we'll define all the parameters at the end. So email we have, then employee name, right? So employee name we will concatenate, right, because in the one only we do, right? And then we can write employee email, right? So these two parameters we have created right here. Now what we do, right, we can come here, we can create the second parameter, which is the employee name, right? So we can say employee name. Now we wanted to put here, right? Now we know, right, here it is not a single value, right? It will come from the multiple. So we can come to the response wrapper data. So it will come the first name and last name, right? So what we need to do, right, we need to write here concatenate function, right? So what we do, right, we can write here concat function. And what we need to do, right, first we need to put the first name, then we can put comma, we can write some space, and then we need to put the last name. And now we can go and do the end, right? So this is our second parameter, right? If you see concat first name space last name, right? Now we can go and one more parameter. So this is for the employee email. So we can write employee email. And what value will come into this one, right? In this one, the value will come of the right response, right? So we can come here, response wrapper support. So this last email, right? So email we can go and put here, right? Now we can go and save. So this time, right, if I will go and run, right, what will happen, right? In the email, right, I will able to get those informations, right? So whatever the informations we wanted to do, right? So we will get those informations in the email here, right? In this notification part. So what we do, right? We can come here and activate this one. And refresh. So we have done. Now what we do, right? We can go and run this one and we'll see the email this time, right? What email it will come, right? So we can go and click into the run. So if you see right here, whole flow got completed. If you wanted to see right the message, right? We can go and see here, right? What message it is coming, right? If you see body, hi team, below are the user details, employee ID 2, employee name Janet, and employee email, right? Now we can go and verify over the email. So if you see right, we one more email came right here. So we can come here and if you see right this time, previously if you see right, hard coded message was coming. So this time what it is coming right, we are getting the employee details, right? We are getting the details here, correct? So this is how we can go and get the details of the employees. Now what is the next one, right? If you see right, each time when we run right, what will happen, right? We will get one only, right? This two only, right? Can we make this employee ID as a dynamic, right? But one thing we know, right? There's no parameter and all, right? Which we can go and set, right? So there will be something which we have. So let me go and make a clone of this one. OSS schedule and we'll write, I think integration property is that one. Schedule. Let me write schedule parameter only. Right, so the previous one was without parameter and in this one, right, we are adding the parameter. We can make a clone. We can come back here. Now how we can go and add the parameter here, right? So for that one, right, we have to come into the schedule part and in this one, right, if you see edit schedule definition, right? So we can click into this one. So this is not the place, I think it got changed. Let me check where is that option. Edit. Yeah, so if you see configure the schedule parameters, right? So here we can go and create the schedule parameters, right? So what will happen, right? We can go and define the parameters for the schedule integration. So these are the things like if you wanted to use, right, you can go and use, otherwise that is okay, right? So we can go and create, if you say you can create schedule parameters that are available across all the schedule runs of any integration and can be used to facilitate processing of the data from one run to the next. So what we do right here, we can go and create our parameter. So we can say here user ID, right? User ID we can go and put. Now what is the default value, right, we wanted to put, right? So default value, right, we can go and put here 2, right? So that okay, in case if you wanted to pass, right, we can go and pass. If we don't want to pass, right, we can have like this value is going to be take care always, right? So what we do, right, this is the name. Now we can go and click into save, right? Now what will happen, right, we need to change our mapping because as of now, right, what we have done, right, we have hard coded this one, right? So if you see, right, we have hard coded this one, right? So we don't want to hard code this one, right? What we do, right, we will get this one, right? So if you see, right, user ID, right, we got here, right? So we wanted to map with this one, right? So we can go and delete this one and we can go and use this user ID to user ID, right? So now what will happen, right? The value of this one, right, it will go. If you don't pass, right, it will take the default value, right? So we can go and do the validate. Now we can come back again and save, right? So this time, right, what will happen, right? Let us go and test it out. Activate. Now we can go and run. So if you see, right, this time previously up to here only it was coming, right? So this time, right, what is happened? We are getting this also, right? User ID default value is 2 and current value. So it means, right, if we don't pass, right, what will happen, right? We'll get the information for the user ID 2 only, right? So it is working. So if you see, we got that email. So if you see that 836, right, we got this one, right? It means if we don't pass, right, it will take the default value. But in case if you wanted to change, right, for example, right, I wanted to put here 3, right? I can go and click into run. So it is working. If you see, right, we got that information. If you see this time, right, we got the different, right? Employee ID 3, employee name Ema Wong at the right request, right? So what it means, right? It means we are getting that this one, right? Dynamic informations we are getting, right? So this is how we can go and add the parameters to the schedule integration, right? So first we saw how we can create it, schedule parameters, how we can run that one. Then we have seen that, okay, how we can go and add the parameters also. In case if we need to put the parameters, right, we can go and add the parameters here that, okay, these are the values or this is how it should go and work, right? So this is what we have. Any questions till now if anyone has? Okay, so if no question, right, what we'll do, right, now we can see that, okay, can we send multiple emails also, right, over through this one, right? So this is a one email we send, right? Can we send the emails also multiple times, right? So for example, right, in this one, right, we know if we wanted, right, we could have used this email address to send that email, right? So what will happen, right? It will go to the concerned person only. But we know that this is not the real email address, so we are not using this one, right? So for example, in this one, right, only one it is coming, so it should send one email, right? But for example, right, if we will get this kind of thing, right? So in this one, right, we wanted to send that email to each employee, right? Like in this one, right, whatever the employees are coming, right, we wanted to send that email to each employee, right? So how we can go and do that one, right? Can we go and achieve that one? So let us see here. So what we do, right, we can make a clone of this one and we'll write here nested notification for loop, right? So will send the notification and we use the for loop, right? Now what we do, right, we can come here, we'll put into our package and clone. We can come here. So what we need to do, right, first we need to go and change this one, right? Because we know, right, that now this is not going to be single, right? This will send that multiple things, right? So multiple will come from this one, right? So what we do, right, we can come here and we can write edit, and for this one, right, what we have, so this is going to be use the query parameter, right? So we can say API/users, we can go and remove this one, we can say next, we need to define here the parameter, so it is a page, we can go and use that as a integer and continue, and the response, right? So response is also going to be changed, right? So this is the response which is look like now. So we can go and copy the response, we can say continue, continue and finish. We can go and do the save. Now what will happen, right? We need to change our parameter also. So this time, right, it is not a user ID, it is a page, right? So we can go and use this as a page number, and default we can put 2 only. We can go and use save. Now we can do the mapping. So we don't have this one now, right? So we can go and delete this one. We have the query parameter page. and it will come from this page number. So we can say page to page number. We can do validate, right? So now what will happen, right? We will get here the email, right? Like here, right? What data will get, right? Here we'll get the data as a multiple, right? Multiple data will get, right? Now what will happen, right? Our notification, right? Still we are using that only. Now first let us go and run and we'll see, right, what will come. We can go and do the activate and refresh. Now we can go and do the run. So we are passing 2 only and we can go and click into run. So first we can go and see that output. So message. So if you see, right, we are getting that output, right? We are getting all the different objects here, right? Now we can come to our email and we can see, right, what email we are getting. So if you see, right, what is happening in the email, right? We are getting the first object, right? So if you see, right, in the right, what will happen, right? We are receiving this one, right? First data we are getting, right? We wanted to receive like multiple emails, right, for all this one, right? So like in this one, right, 6 count are there, right? So 6 emails should come. So how we can go and do it? So we can come back again. So we know, right, here this is a array, right? This is a array, right? So it means like it will have some count, right? It will, right? So it can have 2, it can have 3, it can have 4, right? If it is a limited, right, we can go and write that loop, right? That okay, we have to send 6 email, we have to send 7 email. But right, in this one, whatever the object will be there, right? So that many times, right, we wanted to send that email, right? So what we do, right, we can come here and we can do the deactivate. Now we can click into active again. And what we do right here, if I will come into this actions, right? So if you set it in the logic, right, we have this for loop also, right? For each also. So switch we already have seen, right? So we have the for each also, right? So we can go and put here for each. Either we can go and drag and drop. So it will come for each, right? Now, once this for each will come, right? So this is the one way, right? Otherwise, like we can just go back, discard, right? So either we can drag and drop or we can come here and we can write here for, right? So for each will come. So same page it will open again, right? Now here, right, what is our repeating element, right? So we can say that in this one, right, whichever is a array object, right? So that we can go and use as a repeating object. So if you see, right, this data, right? So this data is the repeating object, right? So we can go and use this as a repeating object because this will contain multiple, right? So we can drag and drop that here. So what will happen, right? This is the one, right? This is a cursor name, right? Current employee. So you can go and write any name here. So we can write here current employee, right? It means the loop will execute, right, 6 times. So each time, right, what value, right? So this cursor will contain that each value, right? So we can go and do the save, right? So we have added the for each, right? Now in this one, right, we have not put any logic, right? What activity it needs to do, right? So this notification, right, we wanted to do, right? So we can come here and we can say cut. We can go and do the paste this one, right? So if you see now that warning is gone, right? We can go and do the save. But now what we do, right? We need to change the mapping here, right? In the output, right? Otherwise still, right, what will happen, right? It will go and send to one only, right? If you see it, this ID and all, right? We need to modify. So this time, right, we don't need to bring from this one, right? If you bring from this one, right, what will happen, right? We'll get only one. So we need to, in each loop, right, we need to have the different, right? So we can go and map with this one. So ID with ID, then this one, right? This is the first name. So first name, comma, space, comma, last name, and then close. Right, so this is what. Then for email also will do. So email will come from this one. Now we can go and save. So what will happen, right? If that data will contain 6 objects, right? So this loop will execute. Now let us go and see how this activity will happen. Activate and refresh. Now we can go and run this integration again. So page number 2 only we can go and run. So if you see, right, let it complete. And in the email, if you see, right, see how many emails we got. Earlier 841 was, right, now 846 is the time, right? So if you see 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 emails I have received, right? And if I will go into each email, right, so in this one I am getting employee 12, employee 9, employee 11, employee 8, employee 7, and employee 10, right? So it means in each, right, I am getting different email details, right? So what is right? These are the employee 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? If I will come here, right, if you see, right, so here we got that output, right, from the REST API. So what will happen, right? We got here multiple line, right? And after this one, if you see, right, our for each got started. And if you see it, how many times it got started, right? It is started 6 times. If you see iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3, right? And if you go and see, right, in each iteration, right, it is sending that email, right? It is sending that email, right? So one email it is sending, right? So you can come to see the flow also. So if you said this is how it will show the flow, right? So up to here, then if you see it, this is executing 6 times. So here it will go and show the count, right? You can go and show how many times this got executed, right? So 6 times it got executed, right? So if you go and for example, if you click into any of the iteration, right, like third iteration, right, so it will go and show that okay, the iterations are happening into this one, right? So 6 times it got executed, right? So this is how it will go and explain, right? Now suppose if I will go and change the value here, right, I will say 1, right? So what will happen, right, on the page number 1, whatever we have, right, so those informations will get, right? Now let us go and run. So it got executed 6 more times. Now let us come and see the email. So we got 6 more emails, right? And in this one, if you see it, we are getting employee ID 6, 1, 4, 2, right, 5, and 3, right? So if you see it, these 6 emails came right here. So in this one, right, we get whatever we are getting on the page number 1, right? So those informations will get, right? So if I will go and show you this one, right? So this is a page number 2, right? If I will go and put here page number 1, so these informations we are getting, right? So this is how we can go and add the loop into the integration. So right, because all the logics, right, whatever we can write in the normal programming, right, same things we can go and write here also, right? So we have seen how we can create a schedule integration, how we can run the schedule integration, and if any output we need to send from the schedule integration, right? So email is the one way we can go and send. If suppose some other things, right, so we can place the file, right? Suppose if we are getting some output, right, we can send that output over the database. We can put that data in, put into the FTP file, right? So all activities we can go and see. Only thing which we cannot do, right, is like we cannot go and see the output here only. Why? Because schedule integration is a asynchronous integration, right? It means it will start and it will not wait for anything, right? Because we know, right, it is going to be start at any point of time, right? So that time, right, there will be no human who is going to monitor that one, right? Or who is there to sit and see the output, right? So due to that reason, right, it will not return output, right? So what will happen, right? If we see that output, right, we can see the email we can send, right? And we see how we can send the single email and how we can send the notification over email, right? In multiple, right? Over loop we can go and write, right? So this is what about the schedule integration. So the next one is like we wanted to see, right? Now if you say till now, right, we have created a schedule integration, but we are running manually only, right? So how we can go and put that time, right? Because the main purpose of the schedule is to set that time, right? If you're running manually only, right, then we could have written this into the application also, right? So in the application we can go and do the same logic and we'll see the output also, right? So the main thing which we will have is like the schedule thing, right? How we can go and do the schedule, right? So we can go and do the schedule by using this one, add schedule. So we'll do this one tomorrow as it will take time. I don't think we'll able to complete this today. So we'll take this schedule part into tomorrow session. So if anyone has any questions, anything, we can go and take those questions regarding the schedule integration. So today we have seen how we can create the schedule integration, what all things will be there into that one, right? In this one, the trigger will be there, then the end is going to be the stop. Then we have seen that loop, how we can, then we have seen the notification, and then we have seen the loop, right? How we can send the loop or how we can go and execute the logic multiple times, right? So it's not about the notification loop thing, right? Suppose you wanted to do some activity, right? In this one, we can do that activity also, right? So anything we can go and do here. So it's the same thing, right? In the last session, we have used the if else logic, right? So same thing, this is a for loop. Any questions, anyone? Any questions? Okay, so if no question, then I think we can go and wrap up the session today here only. We'll connect tomorrow, same time, and then we'll see the continuation of this one. That okay, how we can go and add the schedule. Because in the schedule, right, there are two types of schedule. So we'll see both the types of schedule. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you, Vishal.
Yeah, thank you.